If you are a Canadian Amazon seller or an aspiring one and you want to learn, you probably noticed something on YouTube. There's a lot of US sellers, but not a lot of Canadian sellers. And the ones that are Canadian haven't posted in a minute. And although US sellers know how to sell, it's not the same reality as us Canadians, right? We have different taxes, we have different laws, and we don't have the same volume. In this video, you can see it's 30 minutes long. I got a course for you. In the past 3 years, I've sold 1.5 million on Amazon, and I think I know a thing or two, and I've sold on both US and Canada. Last November, last Q4, I did $20,000 per month in profit, and now I'm going to show you how to get started on Amazon. We're going to go from A to Z, right? And all I ask is if you enjoy it, you like the video, and then you join my free school community that's going to be in the link description. If you want more about that, it's going to be at the end of the video. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the free course that I'm going to give you on how to sell on Amazon and source as a Canadian. All right, let's go. Welcome to the free training, how to start selling on Amazon for Canadians from a real Canadian seller. I probably mentioned this in the intro, but my name's Anthony Mancini. I've sold 1.5 million in the past 3 years on Amazon.com and on .ca. I know a thing or two. I am Canadian, and I really wish I had this when I started selling on Amazon, an A to Z training. And inside 14 days, you should be ready to start selling if you listen to this training. You're going to get every single software that you need. And along with that, you're going to get a live training on sourcing in this video. It's not a US copy-pasted video. This is all from my brainberry, all from my experience. Our first slide that I find super important is going to be Canada versus the United States. There's so much information out there that has the US point of view. I think it's very important for us to really tackle the differences between Canada and the United States. FBM is the first thing that I want to mention because we hear this so much from United States sellers because it is a great business model for them. But you have to remember something. The United States, there are 10 times more people over there than there are in Canada. And in Canada, we are the same size. So these shipping companies, it costs a lot more to ship to a customer than the United States. So your average shipping cost of $4 to $6 over there might be 12 to 15 over here in Canada. So our margins get eaten by all the shipping costs. So it's different, guys. It's possible, but it's a lot more expensive. And I suggest starting with FBA right away and talk about FBM a little bit later. And talking about FBA, let's talk about the volume. Californians are almost as much as all of Canadians. So how can you expect the same volume in Canada? You can't. And not only that, the US consumerism is on another level. I've sold $13 deodorants for 30, 40 USD over there. And lastly, we have a wide over deep model. And I actually love this. Because instead of one product selling 100 times like we'll do in the States, well, here we might have 100 products or more like 30 products that sell 3 times a month. And this is actually a lot safer. If you do any stock investing, you understand a little bit of the principle behind diversification. And this is the same thing. I have sold in the States a product that was making a lot of money, a lot of net profit. And then overnight, Amazon decides to take away the listing. That is $1,000 a month for me, gone. It was more, but gone overnight. Whereas in Canada, one listing goes down, one brand goes down, we're still safe, but in general, the engine is running and we are smooth sailing. So learning Canada sourcing and selling in Canada actually develops great fundamentals. So I really suggest you start as soon as possible. We're in Q4, this is the best time. Talking about sourcing, let's go down to that sourcing tab, but we don't read Keepa the same way as the United States. And this is why I'm making this training, guys. There's so many United States sellers and they're not doing anything wrong. They're teaching their audience. But us as Canadians, we're looking at their content. We're learning the way they're teaching and it's wrong. Data points are different in Canada than in the United States. And a great example of that is variations are not read the same way in the States than they are in Canada because we see it differently. We are actually seeing United States data in ratings and that's influencing our decision. It shouldn't be done that way, right? And last but not least, taxes. We hear United States sellers talk about tax advantages with prep centers in certain states, and they can save money and unlock ROI by saving on taxes. That's not the case in Canada. Once you are tax registered, whether you're a sole proprietor or a corporation, you get your taxes refunded at the end of the quarter. That all in all, it's not worth it to get a prep center only to save on taxes. And as a new seller, you should definitely do your prep yourself, at least for the beginning, before you even pass on that responsibility. But that's a discussion for another day. Lastly, on taxes, this is not an Amazon rule. This is a Canadian government rule. When you start making $30,000 of revenue, well, you need to start remitting taxes, collecting and remitting taxes. That means you're going to have to start becoming a sole proprietor. That's not the same, again, as United States sellers, where they start registering as LLCs. So taxes are a little bit different between Canada and the United States. We're not doing a whole video on that. We're doing a video on how to start selling on Amazon. So next slide, let's get right into it. A little bit more selling on Amazon. All right, so this next one I actually thought I'd do with you. And this is the thing that I want you to do today after you watch all this video and you take all your notes is sign up to Amazon. It's as simple as that. I'm going to do it step by step with you so you can follow me. You can even do it right now. So go click that link. Let's open it up. Let's do it together. We're going to do sign up, right? As we see, Canadian, $29.99 a month plus selling fees. Guys, it's really easy. Got my little email blurred out here. We're going to do create an Amazon account. And here we go. Let's follow along with me. Bear with me, guys, because I do want to sign up for you guys with another account, show it to you guys as authentically as possible. All right, now that we got our information, we're going to put in our security code. And here we go. So now we got to enroll in a two-factor authentication. So either you use a phone number or an authenticator app. I would suggest doing an authenticator app. So let me get this configured. You do this on your own, and we'll see you on the other side of this. All right, I got my code. I use the Microsoft Authenticator. You scan the barcode. It's really easy. So here is where I will probably not go all the way through, but you got to answer a few questions, provide some details and documents, and then you get verified and you start selling. So where is your business registered? If you don't have a business, please look, guys, this is easy, right? Canada. Save and continue. What type of business do you have? You are going to be an individual, certainly at the beginning. Unless you already have a corporation for whatever reason, you would go ahead and do a privately owned business. You're going to do save and continue. What you're going to need is a valid government ID that you're going to be scanning. You're going to need a recent bank account or a credit card statement that matches the address and the name that you have on that ID. You need a chargeable credit card and a debit card, and you need a mobile phone. That is all you need. Once you do that, you confirm right here. All right, looks like it loaded. So here is where you're going to want to fill out pretty much all your information. I'm going to blur all this out and be right back with all the information. All right, I filled out all the information. I put in the SMS verification. I'm going to put in the PIN now so we can get to this next section. Bear with me while I typo my way out of this. All right, so I put in the information and automatically went to the next slide. So now we're in the store and product information. And this is probably the last place I'm going to show you before verification, because then you're going to have to send in your own stuff. Here I would put your store name. You can change this later. I don't know why I have FBA things here. But you can put, let's just call it Anthony's Store. Let's add some random numbers so nobody has it. Do you have UPCs for all your products? You don't need to say yes because we're going to be reselling. Do you own a brand? No, you do not. We're going to go to next. And then we're going to get to this last section here where we're going to verify all the information that we have up here. We're going to put in our ID in the permanent resident certification document. And we're going to put our proof of address, which is going to be somewhat of like a rent receipt, water bill, gas bill, telephone bill. Telephone bill is probably one of the easiest ones with bank account statements. And then you're going to press next, and it's going to take a little bit of time. And now you're on your way already to having your seller account open and starting selling on Amazon. So let's actually move on to the essential softwares that you need. So these are the two softwares that you need to start selling on Amazon. There's other ones out there that do help you, but at minimum, this is what you need. SellerAmp and Keepa, your lead sourcer and your lead qualifier. After that, you're ready to source, and that's what we're going to do together next. That's why I put that little bait at the bottom. But for now, I just want to briefly explain the two softwares so you have a good understanding when we do some live source. So we're going to start with our lead sourcer, SellerAmp. Let's get the pricing right out the bat. It's $29.95 USD per month. And if you subscribe annually later, well, you're going to save a little bit of money up front. With that price, guys, it's going to find all your leads. It's going to give all the data in one place, give you the specific calculator so you can see your margins after the fees. And without this, are you able to still survive? To be honest, yes, because I think Keepa is the true only software that you really need, but it's valuable. Your time is worth something, and $29.95 is not much in the month to pay for a software that will help you just get all that data into one place, easy to read, And not only does it give you that calculator and all that data, but it's an included storefront stocking method of sourcing, which we're going to demonstrate today in the live session. So it's a technique of sourcing integrated with it for $29.95, and it helps you find leads by looking at other sellers, other Canadians, Google search what they're selling, see if we can get it at a similar price, and start selling products. So we're going to do that very, very soon. So that's the principle of Seller Amp. Very easy, not that complicated. You're going to see what I mean in the live session. And then Keepa, which is the lead qualifier. Well, this is where you're going to get a graph. And in that graph, you're going to get pretty much the selling history of the product, how much it's sold for, how many sellers it had at what time, the competition, and of course, the volume. So you get all that data in one little chart, and it will give you the buying decision or not. Keepa will tell you everything. Got to mention it's €19.99 per month. Again, it's going to translate to around $40 Canadian, and then the other one too, give or take. So we're running around $80, guys, for the software stack per month, and we're guaranteed going to find more money in profit for leads in this live sourcing session coming right now. Okay, so let's not waste any more time. This is the last part. It's already been a long video. I don't want to fry your attention span. I just want to give you everything that's essential so you can start selling inside 14 days. Okay, guys? So let's go into the live sourcing session now. All right, guys, welcome to the live sourcing session. I've been calling it live this whole time. Obviously not live. I'm going to be doing some edits because I do respect your time, but this is a one-shot how to find leads session. I just want to put a disclaimer out there that there's a million things to teach on everything. And this video, this training is really the basics on finding your first lead, and I'm going to do it with you. And before I just go do that, I want to do a gentle reminder that I do have a free school community that you can join. It will be in the pinned comments. A call every single week in that community. It's going to be 100% free, at least for 2025. Maybe beginning of 2026, I'm going to put a price tag on it. But for now, the minute we get 10 community members in the school community, we're going to be doing live calls. I'll be answering all your questions, doing lessons in there. So if you are interested, you could go ahead and join. It's in the pinned comments. Let's get to sourcing right away. The whole idea behind sourcing is called reverse storefront stocking. We need to find another Amazon seller and see what he's selling. And to do that, well, not everything sold on Amazon is sold by sellers like us. There's things that are sold by private labelers, right? People that make their own brand. There's things sold by wholesalers, people that buy in bulk. And then there's Amazon themselves that sell things. We need people like me and you that do online arbitrage that are going to go and buy these things from retail websites and just resell them on Amazon. So a really easy way to do that, a really way easy place to start is doing a private label of a big box retailer. I'm going to be using Sephora, and Sephora Collection is their big brand, right? That they carry in-house. And this isn't important right now. This is only just to start finding our first seller, right? And I just know that typically these are not expensive. So I want to find somebody that's selling something relatively expensive. And I'm going to look at this, $59. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to go to this page. And I know, well, this is actually not a good example, but it's a good example for you, right? This is a ships from and sold by listing, meaning that this is going to be FBM. We're looking from shipped from Amazon and sold by a seller. So we're actually going to go back. This is live, right? And we're going to try to actually find another listing that does have an FBA seller in it. All right. It took me a little bit, but I finally found ourselves a sold by West Coast Wellness and fulfilled by Amazon. So this means that this is a third-party seller, someone like me and you, selling a Sephora collection product. It's probably sold at $20. Now, again, this is not the best listing, but this is the perfect time before we actually go ahead and do sourcing. Now that we found our first third-party seller, I do want to quickly explain the visuals of Keepa. Let me make my camera a tad smaller. And then after that, we're just going to explain the visuals of Seller Amp, and then we're going to go right into sourcing, finding our first product. So we're going to introduce Keepa's 3 lines that we really need. We're going to take out these lines over here just because they're not that important. These 3 lines, the bottom line and the 2 lines on the top, are the 3 important lines. The pink line is going to be your buy box line, which is essentially your price history. Your green line is, in theory, every time it drops, it's a seller rank. So number 1 being the best selling rank. If you're ranked 10 and you sell and all the 9 guys underneath you don't sell, well, you're probably going to get bumped up. Well, this is the same thought process, is that every time it drops, it means that it sells one time. Now, This isn't a golden rule, as the faster it sells, each drop actually means that it's selling even quicker and it's not one sale. But certainly when products are in the hundreds of thousands of sales rank in Canada, one drop means one sale. So we can actually see that in the past year here, things have not been selling well. But last year, right, in December, we actually see more drops, and we can reactivate our buy box price, and we can see that back in December, January, we were around that $38 to $43 mark, which what we're at today. So this person probably sent in the stock just to forecast December, but this is not something that we want to buy. So now, before we go into storefront stocking, let's explain seller amps visuals just a little bit. As you can see here in the top left, it'll say if you're eligible or not to sell. They'll tell you any alerts if ever there's a problem with the listing. Normally, it's going to tell you the estimated sales, but right now it says unknown because it sells so little. And you're going to be able to input your cost price. The sale price is automatically going to be taken from the listing, and it's going to give you your calculator on every sale, how much you're going to make. Then there's a little bit more information. I'm not going to go through everything here, but at the bottom, there's going to be your offers. And this is where you're going to see FBA sellers and FBM sellers. And now we're going to go into West Coast Wellness's storefront and see what they're selling, and then start that at a base and try to find our first product that way. So I'm going to click this little FBA, and it's going to open up our whole entire screen. So once we're here, we get pretty much a bunch of data in front of us on the storefront. We get the store name, their IDs, how many ASINs they have, their top brands, and their top categories. We also get an excellent visual here of the Keepa chart on our right, and instead of a pink line, it becomes a orange line. And the new line, you don't necessarily need to pay attention to that blue line. You just want to make sure you see the orange line and the green line, and the Amazon line, that's a yellow line that if ever that comes up. So now we have access to all this guy's products. We will just go cycle, and we're going to go and try to find our first thing. Now, I like to do it by category. I like to go into the people's main category because that's probably where they find the most of their products. So we're going to click it. I click tools and home improvement. And essentially what we can start at a base and start seeing our max cost here, because this is going to tell us, well, we need to get it at this price to get at least a 30% ROI after the Amazon sales. So it's a little game of just looking at the product and looking at the max cost and saying, hey, can I think I get that for that price? So we're going to live blitz it, and I'm going to go through, and I kind of like to give myself a little bit of breathing room. If I'm really new, I'd be going one by one, but right now I'm going to use my gut to try to click on products. First things first, you click on the space, and we're going to go see if we are eligible to sell it, and we can see here we are not. So we can press manual ungate and try to get ungated, but we're not going to do that in this video. We're just going to look for things that are ungated. So we're going to move on, and I don't think the rest of these things I'm going to be able to get for $7 and $3. So we're just going to keep on looking at the list. And here we see something at $43. We can go and see that. Actually, the first thing we want to do is see if that we are ungated, to which the answer to that will be no again. So it's not worth it. We just got to keep on moving on. Tough built, next product here. Here we are eligible. We need to get this for $18.84. You can actually see I had it already $19.99. I think my VA already sourced this product. So it's not profitable right now. We just keep on going. It's fine. That's part of the game. Most things are not going to be profitable at the beginning. Milwaukee, here we see $86. We are able to sell this. We are going to press Google. We can see that it's the closest thing is at $98. So unfortunately, at $98, we are still losing money. Not a product that we want to get. We can just keep on moving on and see if we can get something else. We got another Milwaukee here. We were kind of close on the other one. So again, so close at $78, but that's not going to be profitable at $78. Unfortunately, we are still losing money. He's probably getting it on a bigger sale, or he's expecting it to sell it at a higher price point. But right now, this is not something that, and looks like they're repeating the same amount of products to us, but tools and home improvement, not something that's selling well that we can do on this guy's storefront. I'm going to skip video games. We're going to go straight to toys and games because I like that category a little bit more. And we're going to, again, do the same thing where we are looking at max cost and we're looking at the product and we're saying to ourselves, hey, can I get this game, this board game for $22? And am I ungated? The answer is I'm not ungated. So we're not even going to go and look for the product. We're first going to go and look for a product that is ungated. killer bunnies here at $21, but only one sale a month. Doesn't look interesting at all. You know, I actually want to do a little move here because I don't like this guy's storefront. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to that tools and home improvement. We're going to go to a listing that we were actually close to being able to get, like this tough built listing. We were at $19.99 and the max cost is actually 18 something. And we're going to scroll down like we did before. And as you can see here, there's actually a lot more sellers. So we can go ahead and open up more sellers. I'm going to open up this one because it has 16 reviews. It's not too high, not too low. Unlike this person who had 800 reviews, they could be wholesalers getting things at like crazy prices. So let's actually go into now a completely new storefront. And we're going to go ahead and see this Gizmo Essential storefront with 320 ASINs. So we actually have a lot more available products, and seems like they really like toys and games first, and they have a ton of products for us to look into. So first product, Mizuno elbow pads, $41 max cost. We're going to go on Google. Look at that. We're already getting really close. Mizuno here seems to have them in stock for $40. Let's go and confirm a few things. One, if we can even sell this product. It looks like my VA did find them in the past. And if it's at $40 Canadian, what size do we need? Out of stock. All right, guys, this is how we get clowns sometimes. So clearly this product is viable, but is out of stock and we can't buy it at the moment. So we can add this to wish list and see if they can email us when it comes back in stock. But we can try to see if we can find maybe an alternative to these Mizunos. We see $44.99 up here. Let's take a quick look before we move on to another product, because this seller had a lot of products. This is in stock, okay? So this is actually why. This is almost a viable product right here. We might have already found our winner that, yes, is only at 20% ROI, but if it is in stock at $44.99, every time we sell this product, it might come back at $9.66. So let's do a little bit of a deep dive. So first things first, we got to look at the image, make sure that it is the same. Does look like the same exact product. Comes with both, and we need to make sure our size is small, medium, and we're going to be in the small, medium. Looks like this is a winner, guys. $44.99. Again, price right now is being evaluated at $71.54. That being said, we have seen the price by FBM sellers a little bit lower in the past. We've actually seen the price actually a lot higher too, and often dominated by FBM sellers. And we can see this new line here that I haven't talked about much, but I'm going to talk about it now because it is very important. The monthly sold chart. So we can see that it's actually starting to sell 50 times per month the minute FBA sellers come in, because we have FBA sellers here for a short stint at $80. And at $80, we're making 34%. But near the end here, we're always at FBM here in the 70s, right? And now FBA sellers are picking up. So we're heading into Q4, and I actually think this would be a perfect lead to purchase because it has the potential to go all the way back up to 80, and we are headed into Q4. And even at the worst, selling right now at like in the $70 ranges, if we hit this at 72, we're still making 20% ROI, $8 profit per unit sold. So we can go ahead and go buy 10 of these. And even at the worst case, I'm going to go back down to this calculator here, and I'm going to put we're buying 10. And we can see that our profit is going to be $88. We're going to invest $448. This is not the best return, guys. Don't get me wrong. We sell this at 80 though, and now we're making $155 off of 10 purchases. So just like that, we just found our first winning product, and we can do that over and over. And this was our first product off this storefront. So there's actually so many more products in this storefront potentially to buy and already start selling your products. So guys, let me make my camera bigger here. I really hope you enjoyed this training on the whole process of signing up your account and finding your first product. I just did it with you guys. You guys can see it's possible. You guys can do it. I believe in you. I'll see you in my school group if you guys want more information, and see you in the weekly meetings that we're going to do. And you're going to be able to learn so quick because of them. All right. See you in there. Ciao.